What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Join Dota League Season 5. This is going to be one of those awkward games that is a necessary evil when you have brackets like this. It's going to be a best of one tiebreaker. I know it's less than ideal, but this will decide who is going to stay in Division 2 for sure, and who's going to be moving down to the Division 2-3 playoffs, where they might drop down to Division 3 in the future. We're on my channel right now. I'm Mikelorus, and well, that's because Twitch broke on all the other channels. So hopefully that's not going to be an issue in the future, but Grandis, I think, is making his first co-casting appearance on my channel, so welcome.
Yeah, it's great to be here. It wasn't supposed to be this way, but either way, we'll just roll with it. It is just a best of one, so hopefully it's not too painful. And hopefully you found the stream without any problems. We'll start this draft off with IO, Lion, Troll, and Juggernaut banned out, leaving Axe to be first picked by INTZ. Megalodon will follow up with Eventual Spirit, Batrider, and Sniper will be the second pickup for INTZ.
Yeah, so a lot of powerful heroes got through for sure, especially that Axe, who is most of the time going to be hit with the ban stick first, but IO is a dangerous hero in the right hands, and well, you definitely don't want to deal with that. And well, Axe is going to be picked up first, though the Sniper follow-up to INTZ, very strong hero, is a little bit weaker in the sense that Batrider is already on the Megalodon side, and well, Sniper doesn't really enjoy being in that lasso.
Definitely not. At this point, there's not any great answers to the lasso left inside the pool, but I think one of the better ones that INTZ should consider picking up is the Earthshaker. Just any defensive support to secure Sniper a better time is going to fit very nicely in their lineup.
And Shaker's also fantastic with Sniper in the lane as well. Though Sniper usually does go towards the mid lane, and running straight up dual lane mids, that's not exactly common. The ability to funnel people into a whole big path of shrapnel is going to get you some pretty easy kills, assuming the other side doesn't have someone like a Queen of Pain or a Puck who would just instantly bypass all of that. But even if they do, Fissure to keep your Sniper safe is probably just the easiest way to ensure that Sniper is not going to die, and if he's not dying, he's probably going to get a lot of farm, and well, for all those reasons, Megalodon are going to ban it out.
For sure. Next couple of bans coming out from INTZ, we'll see Clockwork left into the pool, but Queen of Pain and Storm Spirit taking the bans. Megalodon don't have a great position to put the Clockwork in. I don't think we're going to be seeing him, so they'll instead prioritize these jumping mids.
Yes, they definitely want to protect the Sniper as best they can, and because Megalodon already have the Batrider, Clockwork is an unlikely addition to their team. Initiation going to be equally strong on either end. It's going to come down to Blink Dagger usage, or if they want to pick up some sort of secondary initiating hero, most of those will go towards the mid lane, so gotta look towards the mid lane there for Megalodon. But otherwise, for INTZ, I think we're just looking at their off lane and their mid lane hero right now, and Sniper sure as hell isn't going to be initiating anytime soon. Although, to be fair, I don't think Zeus is either.
Yeah, but both of these heroes are going to offer a decent amount of damage to their team, although Zeus, when he comes online, he comes online very hard, and if you can catch the Sniper outside with a lasso, he'll be very easily burst down. Even if Zeus isn't inside lane, the Thunder God's Wrath is going to be a really nice piece of utility for Megalodon to set up kills pretty much wherever they find that Batrider lasso.
And it even can get some pretty good traction if it's played as a support, just because there's a Sniper on the other end. So very fragile, that hero, and a single bolt will bring him down to half HP. It's pretty easy to clean up from there. Hell, even towards the Axe, Zeus does some pretty good work, because Axe is unwilling, or usually not going to be moving around a whole lot in the fight. He just is going to blink in, stay in one place, and then do his job. And that's what Zeus likes. He likes having a target who's not going to chase him down. That means there's going to be several Arc Lightnings, to say the least, not to mention the passive and the Lightning Bolts. So Zeus does pretty well there in either a support or core role. They're definitely going to keep their options open for now and decide upon that a little bit later once they see all the heroes from INTZ.
For now, INTZ will pick up a Skywrath Mage. I don't think he can really knock it that much. It's going to offer Mystic Flare to throw into the call coming out from the Axe, and is a reasonable support, although isn't going to offer them defensive utility against the lasso or really much direct protection for the Sniper, although maybe he can zone some heroes off of him.
It's a form of crowd control. It's a nice little combination with that Axe, and sometimes it's all you need. Though it is usually better to grab those stuns. There aren't really many premium stunners in the game right now. Sand King would be reasonable for INTZ if they want to go for that, but Sand King does suffer pretty hard at the hands of Zeus and Batrider. Not a fun time for that hero. I guess those two heroes do equally well versus all other heroes as well, but Sand King has a particularly bad time against them, because Sandstorm does nothing when you're facing up against Zeus. And, well, it is part of his escape plan, Sand King, most of the time to use that Sandstorm. So, Skywrath Mage, though very fragile, is packing a cannon. If they get a Blink Dagger fast on Axe and set up some call into the Mystic Flares, then the soft heroes of Zeus, Vengeful Spirit, and I'm sure Megalodon aren't going to be picking up any, or 2 last heroes that are super tanky, then the burst damage is going to be real.
Yeah, and could be something that they need to be careful of. At this point, there's no clear picks for Megalodon, I want to say. There's still a lot of room for them to move around throughout this draft and really flavor towards either way of playing. I'm not exactly sure what I'm trying to say, but either way, Megalodon are very low in the reserve time. Let's see what they settle on.
5 seconds
Well, they need some scaling damage for the late game at the very least. Looking for their right clicker. That's definitely not going to be it. Although Battle Fury Witch Doctor, man, we saw it. Maybe we'll... No, I'm not even going to go down that path. But Zeus probably going to go towards mid lane now. Have a short person versus short person fight there. And really for Megalodon, they're going to be lacking that late game damage output if they continue on this trend of things. They can either decide to go for a little bit more of an early mid-game hero like the Luna, who can do a little bit late game, but or they could just go deep and decide on Spectre or Medusa. I think Spectre is particularly good here.
5 seconds
Yeah, it could be really nice. Combined with the Zeus, Spectre can do a lot. Getting kills globally, especially on the Skywrath Mage and Sniper, very vulnerable heroes. If you can get a Radiance up at a decent timing, they could end up just dying with a Thunder God's Wrath and a Haunt thrown out. Even though the damage from Megalodon doesn't scale that well throughout the game, there's not really a point where Zeus and a Witch Doctor with Aghanim Scepter ever really falls off. It's still going to be very potent. And I think Megalodon's lineup is pretty well-rounded, I'd say.
Yeah, they're just lacking a little bit of that guaranteed late game to really just combat it up against Sniper, which Ints have. Ints perhaps lacking a little bit of the early lane control, and, well, I guess that's going to solve a little bit of it. Dazzle, the pick for them, along with Skywrath Mage and maybe an awkward mix of offensive and defensive heroes. One doesn't necessarily set up for the other, and in that sense, yeah, not the best, but Dazzle Axe always opens up possibilities for shenanigans, and if you already see 4 heroes in the enemy's draft that look this soft, then you could afford to go for a low damage support hero.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be sad about it. At this point, however, Ints are relying very heavily on the Axe's call initiation to really set things up for them, as they really don't have any other tools to bridge that gap. So maybe they look for something like a Puck to send to their mid lane.
Well, Spectre is going to be banned out by Ints. Definitely got to be afraid of that hero. If you're a Sniper, you don't want to have a Spectre haunted on you. And the synergy with Zeus and the synergy with Batrider is too insane to overlook. There aren't many heroes that can easily replicate it. I guess Nature's Prophet would be one, but I doubt we're going to be seeing that up against an Axe. They could just fall back on a good old on a Medusa or something like that. For Megalodon, I don't think they really have a real best pick.
10 seconds remaining.
No, I don't think so either. But most heroes would be reasonable for them. At this point, I would like to see the Medusa, although if I were Ints, maybe you'll pick up something along the lines of a Nyx Assassin. In fact, that could be really good with them. They'll instead settle on a Faceless Void for their team. That's also reasonable, even though they don't have the greatest heroes, I suppose, to combo with the Chronosphere. They have a Witch Doctor, and that in and of itself is probably enough.
Yeah, it will get them kills if they land the combo properly, and there's not much on Ints that can actually disrupt it. Silence from the Skywrath Mage is possible to slap that seal in the Void as soon as he time walks in, but you can't really do that all the time. And as far as heroes that can interrupt the Witch Doctor, going to be difficult, as Axe is going to have to get around the Chronosphere, which may not always be possible. So I think this is a pretty reasonable late game pick for Megalodon. We don't really see this hero being picked up for late game purposes too much nowadays, but that Witch Doctor combos up pretty well, and hell, even the Zeus doesn't do a terrible job either. If the enemies are stuck there for however long, then that gives you time to just keep on resetting your cooldowns and then just throw out more and more damage. It's not as explosive as, say, like a Skywrath Mage Chronosphere, but it gets the job done.
The last pick up for Ints is going to be Alina, and I suppose as we start with this pause, we'll be able to just introduce all of the players off of the bat. That's going to be played by Soladin, K4B on the Skywrath Mage, Dudu going to be playing on the Axe, Tails69 on the Dazzle, and 225 on the Sniper. That will round out Ints lineup. And
for the Megalodon side, Lovejoy is going to be standing in, playing the Batrider Bolo, also going to be doing so on the Zeus. They're running 3 stand-ins, really? Okay, well, Yaki is going to be playing the Faceless Void. Aquino is on the Vengeful Spirit. That leaves Monster on the Witch Doctor. And holy crap, these people have a smoking problem. 3 instantly bought at the get-go of this game. 2 for INTZ, no, 1, 2 for Megalodon. So with the Witch Doctor Vengeful Spirit supports, they can definitely play this game very aggressively. Wait, did they sell one? Am I crazy?
It looks like they did.
Okay.
I saw 3 pop up, but it looks like only the Witch Doctor's holding one for the time being.
Alright, well, so they're just going to be equally aggressive, I suppose. INTZ, they're going to make a pretty aggressive movement into the enemy jungle. They have a concussive shot right now. They're going to have a chance to use it. Yaki, though, has Time Walk. And this is really when you want to have Fissure or something like that. Yaki, though, will run straight into some Shrapnel. Cask will be thrown to slow everyone down. Yaki still is taking a lot of damage here. Will he die? 3 charges of Shrapnel, legit doing overtime right now. And Yaki, with one more Dragon Slave, is going to be first blood. Man, you can't do that with Old Sniper, that's for sure. 2 stuns and had another one in his pocket just in case the inside needed it. That sniper was working overtime.
Yeah, unfortunate for Megalodon to start out this game, and really looking good for INTZ. That Lena getting the first blood is actually pretty huge. That's going to propel her towards the bottle and will actually allow her to pick up a magic stick up against the Zeus very early on without really deviating very far from her standard item progression. Yaki actually isn't a stand-in on the Faceless Void. He is on their official Join Dota League roster. He might not be tagged up, but who knows. Either way, I think they are running with 2 stand-ins, however.
Well, 2 is a lot better than 3, I suppose. But yeah, as you were saying, Lena now has a stick versus Zeus, and Stick is going to be an all-star in this game for all of INTZ, really. Like, Batrider is an instant purchase stick against type hero. Zeus the same way. Really, Megalodon are only missing the Bristleback, and then it would be, like, literally the best item that INTZ could buy, but instead it's just a really, really good item. Lena even went for a pretty heavy stat build, pretty greedy bottle build in this lane, so she's going to be pretty happy that she has that extra gold. Not going to have a bad time versus the Zeus, at least not as bad a time as she ordinarily would have. She should have the lane more or less on lockdown, and the Zeus's kill potential here versus the Lena is definitely not as high as vice versa.
Yeah, for sure. Once level 6 comes out for both of them, it does get a little bit more interesting, but for the time being, Lena's definitely packing the punch inside this lane. INTZ are going to settle on dual lanes with Skywrath Mage and Sniper taking up top, and this is completely reasonable for them. The Skywrath Mage can zone out the Batrider pretty decently, although he did opt for Concussive Shot level 1 in order to secure the first blood. Down towards bottom, the Dazzle and the Axe can sit in this lane and put a decent amount of pressure up against even the tri-lane of Megalodon.
This is where the Faceless Void pick kind of gets punished. This is something that would not be happening, or wouldn't be happening as hard, let's say, if instead of the Faceless Void, we saw a Medusa pickup. Just because Axe versus Medusa, not that good if the Axe doesn't have a Blink Dagger. He has to close in the distance, and all the while he's going to get hit by snakes and arrows and all sorts of unfriendly things. In this lane, if he just simply charges at the Faceless Void has to fall back, because Dudu can tank up everything that the Megalodon side has to throw at him. In fact, if the Queen steps up too far, that'll force even more mana out from the Megalodon side, and they're not committing anything INTZ. This bottom lane is a disaster for Mega, because this melee hero doesn't do anything.
Yeah, really, a lot of her lanes are going poorly. Up towards the top of Rune spot, Lena going to get an illusion, but maybe at the cost of her own life. With 3 stacks of Napalm, she turns around for the LSA, and is just getting kited around by the Zeus and Batrider. Though Batrider's dropping low, the fire damage with a couple more Thunderbolts might be enough. Looks like it's not going to be, so turning around for another LSA. Lena can't actually get that to connect. The turn rate slow is a little too intense. Everybody's going to survive.
Well, they don't get any kills there, but I'm pretty sure Lena did more damage to Mega than Mega did to that Lena, just because she was able to bottle up, and well, the rune doesn't always save you in those types of situations, but with no stuns there, no huge amount of burst, having a low level hero like Zeus, or having a low level Zeus, the Lena was able to bottle up through that and did turn around for quite a decent chunk of damage. So Lena's gonna be pretty happy about grabbing that rune. Definitely saved her life and made a good damage trade after it. You know, even though Yaki has such a rough lane, he is still last hitting pretty well, 16-2, but it's only a matter of time, I think, before he actually bites the dust.
Yeah, well, let's just wait and see when that's going to happen. For now, the status quo is looking really good for INTZ. All of their heroes are farming. Although they're not shutting down the Faceless Void entirely, they're still getting farm on 3 cores, where Megalodon can't really replicate that. Although the Batrider can fall off and go for stacks now that he does have level 2, he doesn't have that much inside his jungle, and 1 stack of Mud Golems is also going to slow him down quite a bit.
He's still getting a little bit of experience up towards top. Not much kill potential until Sniper gets that level 6. Until then, I'm pretty sure he's going to stick around in his lane, but again, he's not getting that much cash. I don't expect a super fast Blink Dagger to come up on the bat, whereas conversely for the Axe, he already has his Tranquils up. gone for 2 points in the Battle Hunger to try to force that Faceless Void out. I like this move. It'll give him a lot more independent lane control. The support can wander off to his own thing, and Dudu will still be able to hold this lane.
Yeah, very easily. Although Dazzle isn't the greatest roaming support, he does have 2 points up into that Poison Touch, and any amount of help onto Bolo could get them a kill. Although, maybe not if the Zeus has a haste rune, which he currently does have bottled up.
Now, something I'm pretty sure INTZ aren't going to expect is the jungling Batrider in the Dire jungle. There's no stacks here, but he's going to do what he can, get some income somewhere. It's what you got to do when you're not in the best of positions. But he's probably not going to get too much farm. Very easily punished if he's ever found out. Down towards bottom, Yaki is going to slowly be in more and more trouble. He's going to jump forward for Tail. Couple of hits being traded, but Dazzle's no slouch in the base damage department. All of a sudden, Yaki is on the run with Battle Hunger on him. Aquino is in the area with Magic Missile. Tail dropping fairly low, but has a heal, will hit 2. Then the call onto those same 2. Yaki is going to die right now. Aquino probably going to bite the dust as well. One more hit from the trees, and that dive from INTZ is going to be a massive success. Even the hero rotating in Bolo can't very easily get kills to tap in unless Dazzle just doesn't cast Shallow Grave, in which case it'll be very easy. So I guess it's a 2 for 1.
It's still a reasonable trade for INTZ, since the Axe is going to be well on his way towards level 6, as well as getting his Blink Dagger at a decent time. It's successful regardless, and they do leave the Lina alone inside the mid lane. And now she's going to look for a rotation, bumping into the Venge and Batrider. Both of these heroes die, and pretty much the full barrage of spells coming up from the Lina, and there's no mana on this Bat. I think Lovejoy is dead one way or another. Sniper coming in with a little bit more vision and the Shrapnel. They should just be able to kill him off, and they'll Laguna Blade him for good measure. He's down.
Gotta send a message also. That was an awkward initiation to say the least. Concussive from the trees. Not even with the heroes in a position to easily get in there. They had to go either north or south around that tree triangle. And it was very slow incoming, but yet they still get the kill because Sniper was able to rejoin that fight. Now that he's level 6, has the phase boots, is very independent on the lane control as well. Though he's hurting right now, he doesn't really have much to fear from a Vengeful Spirit or a Batrider, or hell, even both. Over in the Dire Radiant jungle, rather, we might see some action brewing. Dudu's gonna steal a double stack, I think, and now he has a chance to kill off Yaki. Battle Hunger applied, instantly gotten rid of. Cask bouncing through 2. Lina's coming from the side, trying to go for Bolo. Dudu seemingly not dying with the Grave. He literally won't die. Now getting the call off onto 2. Has a Culling Blade armed and ready. Doesn't have the most mana. Has to run from Lovejoy as well. Axe will die, but it won't be for free. They also chase down and kill off the Zeus, who actually turned around and killed off the Skywrath Mage. Still a pretty good trade there, unless they lose Eye Monster, and it's very likely that'll happen. It'll be Lina's double kill for now, but now she's on the run. Has phase boots, 4 stick charges. I'm sure she'll get more because the Batrider is right on her tail. Will she be able to land an LSA that will save her life? It doesn't seem very likely. Yaki only has 1 point bash, but of course he gets a first hit bash, because that's sometimes how it always goes. Yaki rolling lucky, and that'll make it a pretty good trade for Mega. I think a 3 for 2.
Yeah, and Yaki also collecting pretty huge in that last exchange, and also getting very lucky, as you said, with the bashes. Even earlier, he got a first hit bash onto the Axe. You really can't get much better when it comes to that bash luck. But then again, 225 is also left completely alone up towards top lane, and it's not all losses for INTZ, although that is going to take a lot of momentum away from the Axe. Without his death there, he would almost be at his Blink Dagger gold.
Then that'll just be absolutely terrible. The Skywrath Mage doesn't quite yet have that level 6, but Sniper does have enough damage, so that Sniper and Axe represents a pretty potent threat. If anyone gets Blink called, even though it may only be a level 1 call, the Sniper's damage output and the Lina's damage output is just way too high for Megalodon to do anything substantial about it. They don't have someone like a Dazzle on their team who could swoop in and intervene. They will just be forced to take the combo until the Vengeful Spirit gets to level 6, which is incoming soon, but maybe not soon enough, because Tail and Dudu are going to run into Aquino. Can they get the Poison Touch off? I think he got fogged. Aquino's going to turn around to try to get the stack. A little bit of greed there, but I guess he gets paid off for it, because he does get the stack and he gets to live.
Then again, the stack might end up just getting turned around and farmed up by Dudu, which would give him his Blink Dagger very easily. In fact, he doesn't even need the stack. He'll get this with just this one large camp, and it's sub 9 minute Blink for the Axe. About 8.5, although if they kill him now, it could be pretty terrible. Tail 69, gonna be able to get the Shallow Grave off, but that's only gonna delay the inevitable. He'll be brought down with the Zeus ultimate drop by Bolo. They catch eyes onto the Axe, but can't actually chase him down, and everybody else is too far away. Just 1 kill for Megalodon.
And that's fine. Trading your Dazzle in for a Blink Dagger on Axe is a long-run plan that INTZ, I'm sure, are going to be okay with, because the Dazzle at this point really doesn't matter too much. He's gone for a super aggressive build, and, well, he's going to keep playing aggressively. If he could enable some kills, then that death is going to be irrelevant in the grand scheme of things, whereas this Blink Dagger is going to be far from that. So, it's nice for Megalodon for sure. Batrider himself is approaching that Blink Dagger pretty swiftly as well, so they will have chances to get a little bit more going, but they have to worry first and foremost about this Axe.
And for the time being, Axe is down towards bottom lane. He shows off the Blink Dagger to the creep wave, but even though they might know about this, that doesn't necessarily save you. If he gets a Blink call onto anybody inside a full creep wave, especially like the Zeus Witch Doctor Revenge, they should end up dying. In fact, he might be bumping into the Zeus now. He's going to be pursuing for it, but doesn't find him yet. The Batrider's farming over in sidelines. Blink call going to miss. Dudu a little too far away. Now he's bitten off a lot more than he can chew. With the Witch Doctor coming in with Paralyzing Cask, they should be able to bring him down. Although he wants the courier, he can't find it. Dudu going to be smacked down, Faceless Void. Nope, Ben steals it with the Wave of Terror. But regardless, it's going to be a big kill for Megalodon that INTZ really didn't want to give up.
Kind of suicidal there. Like, he had no one in the area, first of all, so whatever he was going to do, he was going to do by himself. Decided to blink over a cliff, so even though Tail was kind of nearby the Axe, there's no way the Dazzle can follow that. This is definitely a side effect of I'm Axe, I'm invulnerable, which is sometimes what happens to players, because he does do so much damage, you feel pretty comfortable, but in this area where there are no creeps to help you counter Helix, the Axe is suddenly a very mediocre hero. He's hard to kill, but doesn't do that much damage, and well, Dudu made a pretty easy to make mistake, but did end up giving his life away. It's a pretty valuable kill for Megalodon.
Yeah. In the meantime, Sniper's been farming away, currently more than doubling up the CS of his counterpart on the enemy's side, the Faceless Void. 2D5 is completely happy, even though he hasn't gotten any kills for himself. He's been involved in two and continues to farm away. And Delina also not looking too shabby. She has a full Yule Scepter flying out right now. Zeus Ultimate going to be spent mostly for scouting purposes and mostly for killing off the Sniper with the Blink Dagger on the Batrider. They'll find that very easily with the Death Ward.
Yeah, it's just an instant lasso Death Ward combo, and pretty sure that will, at this point, kill off any of the INTZ heroes, so this time it just happened to be that Sniper. Over towards mid, Vengeful Spirit is going to be on the receiving end of INTZ's own combination. Yule Scepter into that LSA, into the Dragon Slave Laguna Blade, and similarly, there's no way anyone on the Megalodon side can survive that. They just simply do not have enough HP to withstand that combo, so it's 1 for 1. However, Sniper dying for INTZ definitely going to hurt a lot more. Has so much net worth, yet it's tied up in a Mask of Madness. It only really works if the Axe is on point with the initiation, and so far, he hasn't really gotten that, although now it's about time for the Axe to try, because 225 is going to rejoin his team, and they're going to look for a tower push.
The Axe is coming in from the sidelines, although there's not a great call at the moment. The Tier 1 tower might fall down just the same without any initiation either way. Although Yaki's there with the Chronosphere and potential to round with his own Mask of Madness as well as Power Treads, looks like they're not going to try for it. Maybe they attempt to tower deny, but even that's looking pretty unlikely.
They have the Shrapnel scouting out, blink forward, call onto Bolo. Assassination going to be primed, doing quite a bit of damage to the Zeus, but that's about it. I guess just mana spent for that for INTZ, so they get free damage, they get the tower, and I guess you could call that mission accomplished. That initiation was, if a fight were to break out, is definitely not the initiation that INTZ would have really liked. It's just one hero call, no creep support there. It'll force INTZ to invest a lot into getting that kill, if they get it at all, so it's probably good for INTZ that a fight didn't break out right there.
Yeah, I'd say so, especially if there was a Chronosphere involved in any way, shape, or form. They'll get away with the Tier 1 tower, and they'll be pretty happy for it, and since that was so easy, why not go for the other ones? Well, actually, they're all dead already, with the Axe taking down the one towards bottom quite a long time ago. They'll just farm up and be pretty comfortable with it. However, the Batrider smoked up, looking into the enemy woods, trying to catch out a Sniper, and it looks like he's going to be rewarded. Blink in lasso onto 225 with the Maledict and the Death Ward being channeled. 225 does not stand a chance. Level 3 into that Maledict. iMonster does a lot of damage, even just by himself.
And this is Mega perhaps going for the Sniper a little bit late, yet they're going for the Sniper, and that's exactly what they need to do, because a Mask of Madness Sniper, it can do a lot of damage, it can be a pretty large threat, but with just Mask of Madness, there are definitely scary heroes to worry about, and if they could lock him onto just Madness phase boots for, their 3 or 4 minutes in this game, and so far it seems like they're going to do just that, then that's one fewer hero that they had to deal with. Still, the Lina and the Axe are very, very threatening and probably more dangerous than the Sniper, but this is the late game power of INTZ. It's all in the Sniper. He's gone for the Mask of Madness to try to help out early on, but so far that has done absolutely nothing for him except for help in the push.
Another tool that we haven't seen really utilized is on Megalodon's side, and it's Yaki's Chronosphere. The Faceless Void Chrono, although it does combo nicely with the Witch Doctor ultimate, more often than not we've been seeing the Lasso used to set that up. But the Faceless Void is keeping on par with the Sniper, even though his very early laning stage was a lot worse. After those couple of pickoffs onto the Sniper, they're pretty much on par with each other.
Yeah, Faceless Void is actually getting a little bit of time to farm. He's using the Lasso Death Ward combo, not to get himself golden experience, which, you know, would be nice. He's using it just to get a little bit of extra space, and while Ints are busy scrambling trying to defend their Sniper, the Faceless Void is just farming it up. So this is a pretty good scenario for Yaki. As you said, he had a pretty rough early game up against that Axe, and now he's going to have just an extraordinary follow-up. Lovejoy, though, might not be as lucky because there's a Lina invis right around the corner. Aquino is in the area with the magic missile to interrupt. Thunder God's Wrath will spot the Lina, then they're going to grab her. Do they have any detection? That was awkward. We see her, she's invis. Oh wait, she's invis.
Dire's top tower.
Oh, in the meantime, Faceless Void up towards top, gets silenced, assassinate to cancel a TP. Now with the blink call, Yaki looks to be taking a spill here very easily. He's not going to get chopped down, and maybe they lose K4B here, and they will do so. Can Yaki make it out of here alive? He's going to need the luckiest of all backtracks, and that's not happening. He's going to be brought down by Axe and his Battle Hunger.
In the meantime, the Lina stuck around, killed off the Batrider, but was at the trade of her own life. Still a 2 for 2 overall, and well, Faceless Void dying with the Batrider, probably a little bit better for Ints since they lose the Lina Skywrath Mage, but if the trade was going to favor anyone, it's not going to be by much.
No, I think that's fairly even on all accounts, really. And then Mega are also going to be happy because they got something out of that kill into the Faceless Void. Really, they probably shouldn't have. Yeah, pretty much a wash for all intents and purposes. The game is going to slow down a little bit for the time being as we wait for the Lasso and Chronosphere to come back online for Mega again. And Ints are still waiting for level 6 onto K4B, but after one more creep camp, they'll find that. So now they do have the Call and Mystic Flare combination at their disposal. So they're the ones that, if anybody's going to make an aggressive move, I'd expect it to be from.
Yeah, that's true, although I don't really feel like Dudu has had the impact that Ints really want from this Axe. He got a Blink Dagger pretty darn fast, and it just seems like he hasn't really been using it, at least when you compare him to Lovejoy. The Batrider's been using his ultimate like clockwork. He's been getting kills pretty much every single time it's been up. Duty's going to jump in over towards mid lane. Mystic Flare is there. Laguna Blade unavailable because of the swap out. Yaki going to survive. Aquino going to lose his head. But that's the life of Vengeful Spirit. Give her life so that her carry can live. They're going to initiate onto Lina. Lasting her up to the high ground. Yule Scepter onto the Witch Doctor. LSA to follow with the damage combo. Laguna Blade will get the kill. Maledict should return the kill though, unless this Grave blocks it. And it looks like Lina will survive at 1 HP. They also kill the Faceless Void in the meantime with just Tail and Sniper. Bolo the only one to survive. And Ints, well, that's the power of Dazzle, I suppose. Lina's able to get out of there by the skin of her teeth.
A huge fight for Ints. It really couldn't have gone much better for them, I don't think. Being able to save the Lina after the Maledict and Zeus Bolt Thunder God's Wrath combo, most heroes would die, but yeah, as you said, this is kind of the power of the Dazzle. He's been played very aggressively with the max out Poison Touch build, but still that defensive utility is there, and he's using it very well.
And Ints aren't really going to get this tower since the Sniper's damage isn't super high right now, but they still get a 4 for 1, and I would take that any day of the week. Initiation was powerful enough so that Mega were fighting on the back foot from the get-go, and Yaki, I didn't exactly see how he died, was following the northern fight, but he still has his Chronosphere available. And Mega, they have the Death Ward Chronosphere combination that we keep on mentioning. If they actually have a chance to use those skills, then I'm pretty sure Ints will struggle a little bit more to find the fight that they just took.
Yeah, I think so too. But for the time being, Ints are sitting on a 5,000 net worth advantage and a slight experience advantage over Megalodon. But because of the initiation power of Megalodon and the damage of their heroes, even without any items to back it up, I think they're still going to be okay in this game, and it's by no means over. Zeus Ultimate used almost purely for scouting purposes will spot out the entire Dire team as they're clumped up in mid and bottom.
Yeah, just checking to make sure that Ints aren't trying to sneak a Roshan or anything like that. They don't have a massive amount of minus armor, so if they do go for a Roshan, it will be a little bit slower and it won't be so safe, so Megalodon should be able to crash that if they actually know about it. But Ints, they're okay with just farming up a little bit more, getting some more items on this Sniper, and once he grabs this SNY, his movement speed is going to be off the charts. If they don't lasso the Sniper or Chronosphere him, then they just can't catch up to him to kill him.
Yeah, and that's very scary. From here on out, 225 can go into a little bit more damage, but even without any major damage items, he's still hitting decently hard, and if you leave the sniper alone, he's going to be very happy. Well, for the time being, both teams are on their own sides of the map. Vision really isn't there either from both sides, or aggressive vision, I should say. They have one Radiant Observer Ward inside their own woods, and Dire have one around the Roshan pit, but that's about it. Nothing too crazy.
Mega, they are probably going to be the team that's more willing to look for a pickoff right now. We've seen the power several times now of the lasso into death ward, and they have both of those up right now. They might as well try to make something happen, but you can only catch the enemies jungling in their own jungle so many times that combo before they smarten up and start traveling in packs. So they will instead decide to go for a straight up push. It's definitely a lot more bold than what I was just describing, going for a full 5-on-5 instead of 2v1 or something like that. But with Lovejoy scouting things out, looks like Megalodon might have a chance to actually go ahead and use this Chronosphere, because I think it's only been used once.
Yeah, Dudu is going to TP back to the tier 2 tower. Maybe they can find a call angle, but if they catch it, it's only going to be on Yaki, and he has a full team behind him. But then again, so does the Axe. This could be a pretty big fight that breaks out. Let's see who's going to start it. Looks like it's going to be in. Splint Call catches out Yaki and a handful of creeps, but he's not able to do any follow-up damage. Doesn't get enough spins, and nobody else throws any spells for now. It's going to be Megalodon on the retreat. It looks like iMonster is going to be the one losing his head. He's going to get swapped out by Akuinos. The rest of the team is inbound. Axe is going to look for a jump, but it's actually going to be 225 to get lassoed. Jump in for the Chronosphere onto 3. K4B drop down, now 225 the next one to fight the dust, and they'll take down Tail 69 too, although Grave is going to delay it on the back lines. Dudu trying to chase down Bolo. Can he kill off the Zeus before he TPs out? No, not enough mana for the Coaling Blade, not another call at the ready. The fight is starting to dissolve, and after the dust settles, looks like a 1-for-2 trade, although the Witch Doctor might also end up losing his life as he gets dropped down into the Light Striker Ray with the Coaling Blade, making it 2-for-2.
Man, that looked so good for INTZ. As soon as they actually were firing on that Witch Doctor, there's not much you can do as Witch Doctor to escape a sniper with maim and like infinite movement speed. It's really difficult to live from that point. It's really difficult to turn things around when you're Mega at that point. The only hero that can really do it is someone like a Faceless Void, a 3-man Chrono with the lasso on the sniper to set all of that up as well. And even though, as you said, Yaki doesn't really have that much in the way of damage, going for a BKB, rather defensive Faceless Void build, he's still able to contribute so much to his team. And that combo that we were talking about wasn't even there. It was just the Faceless Void doing damage in his own Chronosphere. Granted, the enemies weren't exactly super healthy to begin with, but man, Faceless Void delivered with that Chronosphere, and that's the teamfight power of Megalodon that they were kind of banking on. That's the reason why they were going to be willing to go for that push, because they had so much power in their team fight. Lovejoy, meantime, getting it sniped over on the top lane. They dumped a Mystic Flare and a Laguna Blade in there, but they got the Batrider kill, so worth it, I guess.
For sure. The nuke damage coming out from INTZ is pretty ridiculous from those two heroes in particular. A full Mystic Flare and a level 2 Laguna Blade. I don't think there's anybody on Megalodon's side that can survive it unless Faceless Void backtracks the Laguna Blade, which is definitely not something that you can count on. And it's going to get even worse too. Once Lena picks up this Ag, she's only about 70 gold away.
Yeah, this is going to be a pretty dangerous combo. If there's anyone with the Lena, then that's guaranteed to be a kill at the very least. How much? 950, right? Yeah, it seems balanced. 986 on the Zeus, just going to throw that out there. 891 on the Venge. Witch Doctor has 8 HP clear of it, so lucky Witch Doctor, you get to survive maybe a little bit longer, but this is probably the most dangerous hero on the map for now. But this is only towards one hero. Chronosphere can mitigate a fight even though you instantly lose someone from the get-go.
Yeah, but it does put a lot of pressure onto the Faceless Void, so let's see how this item actually changes the game. For now, Lena is itching to use it. With such a short cooldown, only a minute, they'll want to be looking for kills every time that they have the Laguna Blade, or maybe just look to take a fight. They're going to go into the Roshan pit. Although it's not the fastest Rosh, it's completely reasonable for them to take it as long as Megalodon aren't close with the Chronosphere and the Batrider, and for the time being, they're not.
Yeah, it's the Mask of Madness that really enables INTZ to do this. 225 is not someone that you want to have tanking Roshan, but with his maim and the headshot procs and the lifesteal, he can tank Roshan. And you really just don't want to be in there as an entire group. Thunder God's Wrath is going to see all of INTZ. It did not see that INTZ were going into the Roshan pit though, so I don't know if Mega got perfect intel there, but right after that Thunder God's Wrath, INTZ are going to be itching for a fight. The enemy team just used one of their highest damaging ultimates, you might as well try to pick a fight.
They'll smoke up immediately, but can't find anybody for the time being. They're going to go for the long wraparound, but it looks like Mega also have a pretty similar idea. I saw one of their sports pick up a smoke. It's on the Witch Doctor for the time being, but they haven't popped it yet. Ints are a little too slow coming out with the Smoke of Deceit, and it doesn't look like they're going to bump into anybody, and even if they do, it'll be the full 5-man lineup of Mega. Now it's their turn to look for this smoke wraparound. I think this is just going to be an awkward dance where neither team actually finds an initiation.
Well, if someone does find initiation, the sniper is going to be ready and waiting with a DD rune. He's going to go into the Roche Pit for a little while. Dudu is going to reveal himself over in mid, but really, Ints, they're not looking for a fight right now. They're looking for an Aegis. I don't know if they can get their wish because the Bat Rider's coming up from across the hill. Lovejoy has backup, going to get the lasso on the Lina, the perfect target right now. Death Ward not being channeled just yet. Grave is there. Chronosphere not going to be used in the meantime. Tail is going to take some damage. Yaki, though, struggling to actually get his initiation off. In the meantime, Lina still alive, is going to dump a whole bunch of skills in. Will kill off the two supports of Mega. And the sniper is still surviving right now. Will actually kill off Yaki. Didn't even use the Chronosphere there. Bolo will try to TP out. Looks like the Culling Blade was miscalculated there from Mega, but it's a 1 for 3. Pretty much perfect initiation for Mega on the Lina, but just was not good enough. The Chronosphere, well, it was used, but I didn't see its impact.
No, it didn't feel like it did much of anything. 225 sitting with a double damage rune on the backlines was untouched on the sniper, and the burst damage wasn't applied to the Lina, even though ideally that is the target that you're able to go on. And they did get the kill, but not before she dropped a Laguna Blade into the Witch Doctor and LSA as well onto the Venge. So at that point, the supports were pretty much all dead, and in the end are going to get their wish of having an Aegis and a double life for the sniper. From here on out, sniper can build into some pretty major damage, almost sitting on 3,000 gold.
And it's going to be really rough for Mega if they actually can't line that Chronosphere up. The lasso is, good at initiating only if you have the necessary burst damage to kill the hero off within the duration of the lasso, and ordinarily they do, but that might just be because the Bat Rider, though he had an angle on the Ints that was very good versus Ints, it wasn't really good for Mega, because the Bat Rider was all alone. He didn't have the Zeus there to lay into that hero. They didn't decide to commit the Death Ward, which I don't really know why, but either way, it still will be a decent fight overall for Ints, because now their sniper has an Aegis, and Mega, they can definitely kill a sniper off once, but they're going to have to layer their big ultimate CC very well if they want to kill him off twice. Like, lasso him, kill him, then Chronosphere him after, something like that.
Yeah, for sure. Bolo is packing quite a punch on this Zeus, however, with the Veil now picked up on his hero. He can do a lot of work, but only if Megalodon find a good initiation. But now that they have their lasso and their Chronosphere up and ready, maybe they can do it. But Ints are the ones in the driver's seat, at least for the time being.
It will not always be that case. As Faceless Void gets more and more items, his ability to jump in and then assassinate the sniper is going to be unparalleled and very difficult for Ints to stop, especially if the Dazzle is also caught in the Chronosphere. We didn't see it last time just because Yaki is so far behind the sniper in net worth, but if he does get enough time to recover in this game, then the sniper's not going to be so safe. If he decides to turn and fight, he's not going to out DPS the bashes of Void.
Bat Rider going to go for a cheeky creep cut, and it looks like he might get away with it. Blink Call going to miss. And now with the 4-step away, Lovejoy's going to buy him a little bit more space, but now the Firefly has died down. He's going to be dropped into the Light Strike Array, the Laguna Blade, and a Mystic Flare. That Bat Rider could not get any better.
He had a Blink Dagger out for a couple seconds there. It looks like he was just unaware of that cooldown, which is a shame because I'm pretty sure if he just blinked straight to the left, that would have been his escape. But with that Bat Rider kill Ints, they're going to mobilize up on top. They have the fresh Desolator up on the sniper, so they'll have a little bit of extra damage towards this tower. And though their pushing isn't really that strong inherently with the heroes that they have, Mega, they're going to be unwilling to initiate without their Bat Rider. Randomly time walking into a Chronosphere is not a really great way to initiate a fight like this.
Yeah, definitely. So let's see. Desolator up towards top, going to secure a tier 2 tower push for Ints. Megalodon aren't in any position to where they can or want to fight. The best they can hope for is a tier 1 tower trade, which it looks like they are going to get down towards bottom.
Well, it's still going to be a tier 2 for tier 1. Bolo is going to haste himself in, bailing up 225, doing a little bit of damage. Tower still will be destroyed, and tower will be held actually down towards bottom, but Sniper, he's going to be left alone. Has Skywrath Mage here to help out a little bit. That's going to be the Aegis down, but it will also be the Skywrath Mage down. Sniper, can you fight your way out of a 4v1? I don't like your odds here, and 225 is very quickly going to take a fall. Looks like I mean, leaving the sniper over there by himself is never going to be a really good idea, but INTZ, do they get even the tower deny? They do, so it's not a complete failure, it's just a mostly failure.
Yeah, unfortunate for them, not going out as their full lineup and leaving the sniper alone. Even though you have an Aegis and sometimes she can feel safe, this is not one of those cases. Sniper is a hero. If he's left by himself, he can't really do much except for try to bring down one of the supports, but even that didn't happen or even got close to happening.
Tower is under attack.
Well, INTZ, they end up using their Aegis pretty much to propel themselves into a tower push, which is mediocre to say the least. You want to be doing a little bit more with that Aegis. Lovejoy, he's actually caught on a small cliff. Lena is not aware of this. That's kind of a shame. That would have been hilarious to see. But Tail is so screwed right now. He's going to get maledicted up. Has no TP, or he actually has a TP, but not going to decide to use it. He's still surviving, but I think Maledict is just going to be lethal right now. One more tick, and he should bite the dust, but off to the side, 225 is going to shape right into a Chronosphere. Thunder God's Wrath is going to get both of those kills. Now they're going to turn around onto the Scarif Mage. Call is there. Call, though, is going to miss. Laguna Blade onto Yaki. I think that was backtracked. It definitely was. Yaki going to try to TP out of it. Do they have another call? Do they have anything to interrupt this? They don't, but it's a 2 for 2, and for INTZ, that's probably the best they could hope for, since that wasn't a really great start to that fight.
Yeah, it really wasn't. Yaki's very lucky that he survived there. In the end, it does cost him a BKB to secure his TP out, and a 10-second BKB nonetheless. But they still get the sniper pick, and it's a fairly even trade for both sides. I'm not exactly sure who that favors, and it really feels like this game is pretty even for both teams.
Yeah, and Faceless Void is slowly but surely starting to step up on his farm. The Maelstrom is going to help him farm even faster. He has overtaken all of the INTZ heroes, although it's only by like 5 gold in Lena, so Lena's going to take back that lead. But really, at this point, a Chronosphere on 1, it ordinarily in these types of games wouldn't be worth it. But if you catch the sniper, if you catch the Lena, the Faceless Void will be able to go ham on those heroes, and they're just going to die. So INTZ, they are starting to lose a little bit of momentum in this game. The Axe's call, as far as initiation is concerned, is just for the utility, just for the disabled. The damage isn't really too impressive any longer. Lovejoy going to run straight into the Lena. Blink Call going to connect onto the Bat Rider. Lena's going to slowly turn around for something, but gets stunned up. Monster now with the ultimate channel. It is not Aghanim, but Dudu will still die here. Laguna Blade, though, will make it a trade for the Bat Rider. Time Walk in. They're going to pop the Thunder God's Wrath. See the Lena. Will they be able to catch her? Chronosphere not available, and it looks like the Lena's going to survive. Just a clean and simple 1-for-1.
Look at it go!
Yeah, although it is pretty close, that Bat Rider, since his HP pool isn't really up to snuff, Laguna Blade does do a lot of work, and it's level 16 now too. Pretty much every time that the Lena's confronted with an enemy hero, she should be able to get a kill. That's pretty much an even trade for both sides. The Axe and the Bat Rider operating with pretty similar rules, but I think the bigger issue is that the Witch Doctor now has his Aghanim Scepter up, and as if his Death Ward wasn't scary already, it's going to get even worse. And now combined with the Chronosphere, it gets to the points of being ridiculous. Also, Megalodon maintained possession of their gem.
Yeah, INTZ, they have a blinking Axe who can disrupt that Death Ward channel. Scarif Mage, he can do it. Lena can do it, but all these heroes are probably not going to be diving deep, trying to actually get on top of someone like Witch Doctor with the intention of disrupting that ultimate. Though it is definitely very nice if someone does end up doing that job, someone's probably not going to do that job. If you run in like that as Scarif Mage or Lena, you're just going to die, and Axe is going to be the one to initiate first for INTZ. So I don't really see an easy way for INTZ to actually interrupt this combo.
Lena.
Yeah.
She felt she was safe with the Invis rune, but Gem on the Witch Doctor will spot her out, and easy pick off there. INTZ knew about that gem, and honestly, I think that's a little bold of Lena to look for a pick off like that.
Long swap, though. That was a level 2, and Vengeful Spirit is going to soon have a 4-staff, so that's going to be a lot of initiation range from a third hero from Mega, and between the Lasso, between the Blink Chronosphere, and a 4-staff swap, INTZ, they're going to struggle a little bit more to get their initiation. Dudu's initiations have been mediocre so far.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate for them. His KDA is still fine, and the Axe has been playing alright, but they rely so much on him to play amazingly this game if INTZ really want to take an advantage over Mega, since they do have so many avenues to start fights.
And right now for Sniper, he's gone for a little bit of a more mid-game oriented build, like Desolator, Massive Madness, Sanjinasha. These are typically not items that you really want to have on your full 6-slotted carry build, so INTZ, they have gone for a build that indicates they want to snowball and really end this game quickly, but it's slowly but surely seeming like it's just not going to happen. They still have this pushing power, but they're just never in any position to push. Whenever they do, they end up losing their Lina or making a 1-for-1 trade Axe for Batrider, and all these things are just slowing them down. Slowly but surely, INTZ are losing their momentum in this game, and if they lose 2-2-5 up here, then, man, their pushing is not going to happen for a very long time.
He's in maybe a little bit of trouble, but for the time being, the Radiant team has been spotted out by a dire observer ward, so I don't think he's going to be in any immediate trouble. 2-2-5 is going to survive, but still, I think that the momentum definitely is completely out of INTZ's, and even though they've been sitting on a lead for the majority of this game, since 8 minutes in, they really haven't advance that lead by any significant margin. It's been floating between 2,000 to 5,000 for the longest time.
And Mega are more than happy to make that happen as long as they don't whiff Chronosphere or something like that. They're going to apply some slow, steady pressure up towards the top lane. They are, unfortunately, for the Mega side, sitting on an Observer Ward, so INTZ know exactly what's going on. Seems like Bolo thought he did his Bolt Scouting, but they just didn't. So if both teams just sit here forever, no one's going to do anything, and yeah, okay, there we go. They're going to leave.
For the time being, the crisis or fight has been averted by both sides. We're going to see smokes picked up by both teams' supports, I believe, at the very least. There's an item that we haven't talked about, actually. The Midas on the Dazzle. I actually completely failed to notice it.
Yeah, I saw it a little while ago. I don't really know why I didn't say anything, probably because there was a fight happening or something like that, but Dazzle is a hero that does excel with levels, and levels are great to have on the Dazzle. However, at level 15 now, the Hand of Midas for experience has pretty much run its course as far as usefulness is concerned. There aren't really many huge luxury items for the hero, like Force Staff, Blink Dagger, Sheep Stick. These are all nice to have, but nothing quite as game-changing as like an Aghanim Scepter for an Ancient Apparition or an Aghanim Scepter for Witch Doctor. Dazzle's Aghanims is definitely not as good. They're going to catch two, though, over in the South River. Lovejoy is going to take Luna to the Dome. Now Monster is going to get right-clicked down by the Lina. That's the initiation that INTZ want. Can they do anything off of that? They're going to try for Roshan.
If the sniper was closer, this would be a lot easier, and he's going to TP back to the base and waddle his way down towards the Roshan pit area. Although this should be pretty obvious to Megalodon, and they also have a Zeus ultimate to scout this out, should they feel that's necessary. I really don't see a good reason why Megalodon wouldn't contest this, since they do have Chronosphere and Zeus up and running.
If the Vengeful Spirit was there instead of the Witch Doctor, they would be making a beeline towards this Roach pit right now. Chronosphere into Deathward. Doesn't matter who else is on their team or on your team. If you get that combo to land, you could take a 2v5 easy peasy. But because it's the Vengeful Spirit to survive and the Witch Doctor to die, I think they're just not comfortable enough going to this Roach pit. A little bit too risky, not enough reward, and that's going to mean that 225 gets a free Aegis. Now, last time he didn't use this Aegis well at all, but INTZ, they're pretty much primed for a tier 2 tower push in the bottom lane. There will probably be a defense here for Mega. At least they can defend it, Mega.
Yeah, even through the double life on the sniper, but let's see if they're going to even attempt it. The tier 2 tower is not that healthy to begin with, and it looks like that's not going to be the case. They're not even going to glyph it up. Last hit going to go the way of 225. At this point, a tier 2 tower doesn't really mean much of anything. The bigger question is, when will INTZ be strong enough to go for a high ground push?
Well, they're... okay, that Fortify was not the right one. A little bit late or very, very early. I'm not sure which, but Fortification wasted. And I was just about to say that INTZ probably wouldn't go for a high ground push until they take out that last tier 2 in the mid lane. Now, with no fortification to worry about, pushing is going to be all the more attractive. So, Mega, I'm going to assume that it was just a next level bait move. They're inviting INTZ in so that they could take a team fight.
Yeah, fair enough. Their team fight is strong enough to maybe warrant something along those lines, but yeah, probably just a mistake. Either way, we'll wait until INTZ want to look for another tower push. This tier 2 tower in mid looks pretty inviting for them to take. It's also only on about 600 HP and doesn't take long at all for them to bring that down. Although they will be taking this into the full 5-man lineup of Mega, so maybe they're not comfortable enough, but really I don't see a reason to stop now if they've already gone bottom. Especially now that they have an Assault Cuirass for 225. The minus armor is going to be immense on the structures and heroes alike.
Yeah, so the only real way I see INTZ, really throwing this way is if they get caught in a Chronosphere or something like that. If they play this very slow, then between the Assault Cuirass minus armor and the Desolator minus armor, then the towers will inevitably take their fall. It's going to be up to Mega to make the initiation happen. it's going to be hard for them, but they do have vision right now of a couple of heroes. Dudu is spotted by an Observer Ward, and there's a fresh Eye of Scotty pickup on the Faceless Void. I think this is only a really good item because he has Maelstrom, Mask of Madness. Otherwise, I would say this is pretty bad, but Void has it, and what's done is done. He does not have buyback now, so Mega are going all in on this Eye of Scotty, at least for the Void.
Yeah, INTZ are going to start chunking away at this tower, already down 600 damage, and we'll be at about half health before any major fight breaks out, as 225 is pretty comfortable to do this with the Aegis. Even if the sniper dies once, he's going to have team back up for the second life, or at least he hopes so. It didn't happen last time they had the Aegis.
I don't think INTZ are going to be scrambling to defend their top tier 2 like they were last time they ended up wasting the Aegis, so they have a lot less to worry about. However, 225 is going to get pulled in. Goodbye, Aegis. Can INTZ actually help out their sniper here? They need like a Force Staff or something, but Yaki's going to waste no time chronoing that sniper. Big problem off the board. Actually, no, Grave is up. Yaki once again going to perhaps dodge that Laguna Blade. Death Ward from the bottom line, though, is going to kill off the 2 supports instantly. Now the blink in from everyone. They're going to catch Dudu on the retreat. Lina is able to slip away. But man, Mega dropped everything they have onto that sniper, and they're not punished at all because INTZ simply can't get in there fast enough.
No, the damage coming up from Mega is insane. We already saw that Death Ward doing a lot of work against the Skywrath Mage and the Dazzle, and without the sniper, INTZ really aren't in any great position to fight. Even though the Lina was able to get her Laguna Blade off, it was on to the Faceless Void, and I'm not sure if he backtracked it or if he's just tanky enough since he is sitting on Scotty, BKB, and Power Treads. Even though the BKB doesn't do anything, his base health is not looking too shabby.
Yeah, I mean, usually a Laguna Blade would take out like half of a hero like Faceless Void's health, but Eye of Scotty, I think that actually was not dodged. It was just the fact that he had so much additional health in the Scotty that made it almost seem like the Laguna Blade was inconsequential, but either way, INTZ end up losing a whole bunch of their heroes, and Mega, they are now going to take this opportunity to take 2 tier 2 towers away from the inside. They also hold control of their tier 3 in the mid lane, and INTZ, they're now going to be pretty darn scared. Do they really want to wait for the sniper to get like re-6 slotted though? It might take a little bit too long if they want to drag this game out.
No, it might, but for the time being, Mega are going to be pretty happy with their position. Honestly, INTZ play a very dangerous game since the sniper is so vulnerable, as we've seen inside the fights. With the BKB up for the Batrider, they need a blink call in order to stop him from pulling the sniper out of position, and that wasn't possible in that last fight. The Axe blinked in and called way too early. I think he was expecting the Batrider to go for the blink then, but Batrider was patient, and Lovejoy finds the initiation that Mega needed.
And Axe doesn't actually get much going at all in that fight. He just gets swapped back and demolished. Like, I don't even know if he had pipe there. It probably wouldn't have helped them too much if it was up, but yeah, he wasn't able to do that much. That's the bottom line. Well, INTZ, they kind of have the item build on the sniper that would indicate that they just should be rinsing, repeating, and just constantly trying to go for it, but that was such a decisive fight that I'm pretty sure INTZ are going to be, you know, it's a pretty stubborn move if they actually want to go for this again. Like, they shouldn't be enjoying that much pain. It's just wrong.
Fair enough, especially now that Megalodon have all of their cooldowns at the ready. I can't see this fight going very well for INTZ unless Megalodon are completely out of position and get caught out by like a 2-3 man call. And even then, as long as the Faceless Void isn't involved in that, unless they focus down the Void, it could be very easily turned. I don't think they're going to commit to high ground. If they do, I'm tempted to say that's a mistake. Sniper's going to back off, and they'll just be content putting some pressure on the Megalodon side of the map.
Well, Sniper, if he shows his face up in this top lane, there's a Faceless Void who has no issue whatsoever about using a Chronosphere right now. He doesn't know who's behind the sniper, but is he going to think about going for this anyway? Axe is going to blink in for a missed call. He's going to see the Faceless Void. Instantly, Chrono goes up, but Blade Mill goes up as well. Yaki forced the BKB right now. Dudu's also going to get graved up, so this is not going to be an Axe, at least not an easy one. Yaki dropping very low, very quickly, will time walk up, but there's nothing up there, so I don't really know why he went in that direction. Dudu is still alive for the most part, going to walk out of here alive. iMonster, though, on the retreat is going to get picked off. Lena's going to drop very low. In fact, everyone on INTZ dropping very low, but not dead. Bolo is stuck in a corner right now. We'll try to TP out. That's not going to happen in a million years, and Mega end up losing 2 heroes after failing to get a single kill on any of theirs. That was, I guess, a little bit unfortunate, but Axe is not the hero you want to focus if you're Mega. That's how you lose a fight.
Yeah, the Axe is really tanky, and honestly, I think that fight went really well for INTZ because they decided to go for that Axe. It looked like Dudu was out of position, but maybe it was just an elaborate bait. 225 was allowed to sit on the back lines, and fire away throughout the entirety of that fight. Outside of the Chronosphere, Faceless Void couldn't comfortably sit and attack the X. He was forced to pop the BKB really early, and all things considered, INTZ are going to be very happy with that, or how that fight went, especially since they don't have to deal with Chronosphere for another 30 seconds. That's some time where they can breathe a little bit easier and farm up the enemy woods.
And that's just the very easily noticeable difference between having an Axe involved in the fight and having an Axe who was just picked off on the retreat. Down towards bottom, Lina is going to throw her Laguna the way into the Bat Rider, but a clean blink, boots of travel out, and Bat Rider is going to be A-okay. He has to be A-okay. If he was dropped right there, then INTZ are going to be making an aggressive push over in mid. Instead, it's just going to be a little bit of a push. Yaki is threatening Chronosphere right now, though he doesn't even have it, so a little bit of a bluff. Looks like it's going to pay off for him. INTZ take out a tier 3, but I honestly don't know if Megalodon even care or notice that tier 3 is gone. It's pretty much irrelevant at this stage of the game to lose tier 3s.
Yeah, 44 minutes in, I don't think it really changes much of anything, especially considering it was already so low. Looks like the next objective we're going to be waiting for is Roshan. INTZ are currently sitting there Dazzle inside the pit to scout this out. It's not going to be out for another minute and 10 seconds or so. Is when we're going to see the big man back up and running, and I expect that to be our next major fight.
This Roshan timer, sometimes the duration of the timer favors one team or the other. This time I'm pretty sure it's just a vanilla neutral kind of timer, because both teams are in a position right now where they have all of their tools, have all of their cooldowns. I guess both teams would like more items, but that's probably going to be happening either way. So it's just going to be a regular old Roshan, wait and then see. As far as the Roshan fight is concerned, Mega, they previously have not taken any of the Rosh fights because they were just so far behind. But now with the Zeus, Faceless Void, and Bat Rider on their side, they're going to be more and more willing to actually try to crash a Roshan fight right now.
For sure. And they would have loved to have this DD on the Void for that engagement. That's going to be timing out now. That's not actually going to be put into any other heroes, but even without it, this Faceless Void is still doing quite a lot of damage. Just with his raw stats, his attack speed is going to allow him to get a lot of time locks off, as well as the Maelstrom procs. Yaki is doing quite a bit.
And he's holding on to a lot of gold as well. I'm pretty sure you want to be saving for buyback if you're this Faceless Void. I would say even buying out the Scotty previously, it cost him a buyback, and that was probably a mistake. Ended up working well for him, so, I mean, I guess you could say that, but now he definitely has to save for that buyback. But if he does sneak a little bit more farm here and there, a Mjolnir or something like that is a very easy item upgrade, because other than that, you could sell the Power Treads, you could sell the Mask of Madness, but those are going to go into pretty big expensive items. That's going to involve quite a bit of item finesse. So Mjolnir is a pretty easy upgrade for him to make, and when you're talking about Rosh pits, or fights in the Rosh pit, Mjolnir does do some serious work.
Well, for the time being, both teams look to know that Roshan is up. Dazzle's going to poke his head into the pit, and that's a Bat Rider illusion there. It's going to be mopped up. So both teams do have this intel, but it's going to be INTZ to make the first move. 225 going to start working away at this Roshan with the Assault Cuirass and the Desolator at the ready, but I think Megalodon are more than equipped to crash this. They're going to start converging now.
Well, Sniper doesn't have any more lifesteal. He did sell off his Mask of Madness, so soloing Roshan for him is possible, but no longer really viable. Lovejoy is going to grab 225. Can he bring him all the way down to the Roche pit? If so, that's lethal. He will get down there. Now 225 needs some backup desperately. Where's the axe? Even if he comes around now, it's way too late. Yaki's going to pop the BKB just for safety reasons. That's a free pick off on the Sniper, forced to buy out. And if he dies again, that might just be a good game in favor of Mega. But blink in, Dudu's going to get a call onto 2. Yaki and Bolo stuck in the Roche pit. Bolo going to take the full force of a Mystic Flare Laguna Blade. Now the Chronosphere goes up on Tail and Dudu. In the meantime, Lovejoy is on the outskirts of this fight, taking quite a bit of damage from the Sniper. Death Ward finally going to be channeled. Monster, though, is not in a good position right now, and he will be brought down. Void also took a fall there. And INTZ, they are going to jack the Aegis. And Mega, they get crashed, and they get crashed really hard. That buyback from the Sniper, oh so worth it, because he gets a double life anyway. So I guess he's net loss 0 lives.
That was such an awkward Chronosphere coming out from the Faceless Void. At that point, he wanted to commit fully to the Roshan, but he just wasn't able to kill it fast enough. He dropped his Power Treads before starting to work away on the Roshan, and maybe this was one of the situations where if he kept the Power Treads, he would have been able to mop it up just fast enough to get the Aegis onto his person before he died. But even though he has buyback and can still get into this fight, it's a huge win for INTZ. At the very least, one set of barracks, melee barracks in mid, is already down.
And that fight could have been so different from Mega if, as you said, the Chronosphere was a little bit different. If they had the Witch Doctor instead of, like, right over here, if he was back in this corner, that could have been a vastly different fight. And therefore, with a different fight, there would be probably Raxus still standing for Mega. But because of those small factors, positioning does matter, and they're going to be punished for it. Batrider going to blink right into a Yule Scepter, gets called on his rival down. He's going to get annihilated in a hurry. Yaki in the middle of everything, got called by Dudu. He will tear that axe a new one, but now he has his BKB, or had his BKB. Now it's timed out, so he can't easily go for more. They're going to catch a bolt on the Skywrath Mage on the way out, but that is a Rax and a half for INTZ. They only lose their axe for it. Can Mega crack back into anything? It seems unlikely.
No, it doesn't seem so. They held onto that buyback in the Faceless Void for way too long, I feel, after they got the important barracks in both the mid and bottom lane. And really, Megalodon, after feeling pretty comfortable in this game, all it took was one botched fight, or not even like botched fight, but suboptimal fight. And now they're really on the back foot. Although it's not over yet, that's a huge swing in the favor of INTZ. After a long time of almost being at an advantage, but not really, they've currently slipped themselves up to 12,000 in net worth, and experience is at 10,000 their lead. And even more importantly is that they have 2 melee barracks down onto their side. INTZ can breathe a lot easier.
Yeah, they're still not out of the woods yet, because that has been pretty much the state of the game up till this point. It was just in the past couple of minutes where Mega were actually closing in on even and looking to have an advantage, but INTZ, they're now back in the driver's seat, but we've seen them in the driver's seat previously, and I wouldn't trust them to drive my car because it doesn't seem very stable, especially with 225 using his blink to get closer in. There's a lasso waiting for him. He's gonna get pulled right back into his Zeus. Double force staff back. Magic missiles there as well. Zeus, or Sniper rather, is going to die. However, they used everything that they had to actually kill him off. He has a straight blink out. They take out the Aegis for free, and that's good enough for Mega. Although Aquino's gonna stick around for way too long, he's gonna get brought down very easily with a Hex. Picked up by Tails, that Midas Dazzle working in the background. Got him a pretty fat item. Now they're gonna chase forward for more. 225. Gonna lay some shrapnel down. They don't have True Sight here for the Witch Doctor. Will they catch Bolo? Looks like they won't. They're instead going to catch eyes on the Batrider. Tails also gonna go for Bolo in the same time. He's gonna get assassinated, worked down by this Dazzle. Mystic Flare is there. That's gonna be 2 kills. And Batrider, where are you going? He has a haste rune, so he's going wherever he's going really quickly. But the Lina is still on the chase. LSA from around the corner, blind, not gonna connect. Lovejoy goes into the Ghost Scepter form. 225, arming that assassinate. That will not be lethal. And I don't think they could actually kill off this Batrider. But still, they get 2 kills for free, and for INTZ, that means that they could try to go for yet another push.
Yeah, and at the very least, maybe mop up these range barracks in mid and bottom, or even go for top. They're pretty much open to anything, as Megalodon fighting with anything less than their full 5-man lineup at this point is really scary. Right now, what they need is a really good Chronosphere and a really good Death Ward. If they can pull that off, maybe they can hold, but it's looking really hard.
Yeah, they have to lasso in someone so that INTZ like kind of converge to help out their lasso target, and then the Chronosphere gets dropped. But Yaki's spotted right now. iMonster is also spotted, so it's so hard to get a Chronosphere off. Like, how can you get a Chronosphere off onto more than 2 people right now? The 2 people that you can get it off on are Tails and the Lina. And who cares if they get Chronosphere? That's probably best case scenario for INTZ. So they're just going to put Dudu on the front lines with that heart with so much armor, plus the magic resistance from the pipe. They'll clean up the mid lane and swap back on the Sniper to do nothing versus the Blink Dagger. All of a sudden, the Venge is going to hit with the LSA Laguna Blade. Rest in peace, Venge. Yaki going to make a blind jump forward. Chronosphere onto 2. That won't do too much. Where's the Death Ward? iMonster is on the low ground. Will instantly get silenced as soon as he starts the channel. Then the Mystic Flare will happen. He's going to drop down instantly. Yaki still alive for the most part, but he's going to get hexed up. Dudu laying into that void, but they just don't have enough damage output right now without their Sniper. I don't know if INTZ can continue this fight. They're going to force out the Batrider, Yule Scepter him up into the air, but Zeus has returned, and he has the target in sight. It's going to be that Lina. Blink forward for Dudu. Call is going to be dodged by that blink forward from the Batrider, but all of a sudden Bolo's in the front lines, and that's not where you want to be ever as a Zeus. He's going to chase down by the Axe and by the Skywrath Mage. Not enough damage to kill off this Zeus. Lina still dropping pretty low. Lovejoy in the back with a lot of mobility to his name. Yaki is actually going to return to this fight. He has a Refresher Orb ready, doesn't even need it. He'll beat down the Axe, now looking for more. Cab is 1 hit away from death. That'll be a double for Yaki. He's looking for a triple. Can he make the right guess with this time walk? Looks like it's a little bit too late because Lina is a little bit too fast, but it's only 2 range Raxes to die, I believe, but still the base of Mega is in shambles right now. Someone has to defend and clean all this stuff up.
Right now, that's going to be Bolo. In the meantime, Lina also snipes the Batrider, who did buy back a couple minutes ago, so that is an official dieback for the Batrider, just killing him off with the Laguna Blade. But the big difference for Megalodon in that last fight was that they were able to chrono the Sniper and the Dazzle, and really there was no angle for the Axe to help out. So in that point, you are able to take out a lot of INTZ damage away from them, and that's kind of what they needed. It's not over for Megalodon. They have been able to hold, and I think that's the takeaway from that last fight.
Will they be able to hold again? That's the real problem. Double Chronosphere is going to make it a lot easier for them to do so, but while the Faceless Void is a pretty potent threat with that double Chrono, he hasn't increased his damage output at all by buying this item, and that is a serious problem because Ints, they have now a lot more bulk in general, so they're a lot harder to bring down. Like, just look at the Skywrath Mage. He has a Bloodstone, he has a Cloak. This guy is hard to kill, especially for Skywrath Mages, but Faceless Void, though he is doing an okay amount of damage, has a lot of utility. He's more so a utility hero now for Mega than a damage dealer, and that might be a problem. He needs to get a damage upgrade, a Mjolnir, a Daedalus, a Butterfly, anything like that. Otherwise, he'll get the Chrono, yeah, but he can't do much with it.
Yeah, Monster is the one that can, but last fight he was instantly silenced up by the Skywrath Mage. And Shadowblade, although it's nice to have on your side, it's not a reliable way to make sure that you're able to get that channeling through if Ints are prepared for it. And that last fight was the one that they really wanted to get that Shadowblade to have value, but I don't think it's going to happen again. Ints should be packing Dust Sentries or a gem, whatever the case may be. At this point, Mega are the ones to be holding on to the Gem of True Sight. In fact, they have two, comfortably sitting in their base.
And Ints actually have no form of True Sight whatsoever. They have LSA and Call to cut through Invis and land a stun, but I don't really know if they're going to blindly do that. Dudu's going to charge the high ground. He's going to dodge a Chronosphere, 225, and Tails both being hit by that. Yaki also going to dodge a Laguna Blade. He's still going to go for 225. Now that Ultimate gets channeled by the Witch Doctor, bouncing through everyone, and Ints are just dying left, right, and center. 225 going to slip out of there with his life, albeit barely. Thunder God's Wrath is 5 seconds away from being primed. That'll kill off 225 if he just pops it. As soon as he gets it, he's going to use it. Sniper down. They also see Lina and the Skywrath Mage on the retreat. But that's the Death Ward that they wanted. That is textbook worthy right there.
Yeah, it really was. And a scary tool it is, too, for Megalodon. If they can do this a couple more times, they can be in a position to look for a high ground push for themselves. But since bottom and mid have already been taken out, it's going to be hard. And this fight, in and of itself, isn't going to be enough to get them to that point.
Oh man, this game is starting to get to a really exciting point. For a random best-of-1 tiebreaker, this is the type of game that you want to see. We have a Shadowblade out from the Witch Doctor. They see the Lina, who is walking under a Radiant Observer. She's just farming, but maybe she's going to regret that decision because Batrider closing in fast with the Witch Doctor. It's hard to catch up to Alina, though. She's moving at 5:08 with the Phase Boots active. Oh no, she's going to turn around. If they lose Alina here, that could be really bad. She's going to throw the Witch Doctor up in the air. LSA is being primed. They're going to cast the Lasso, Maledict as well. They don't have a massive amount of damage here, but they should have enough. Laguna Blade going to be returned to the Witch Doctor, but he's going to Shadow Blade away, dodge the Dragon Slave on the way out as well. Can Maledict do enough? Well, I don't know if it would have, but it looks like it's irrelevant because she's dead anyway. Down for 30 seconds. In the meantime, Dire base. Yaki and Aquino are going to town looking for Raxes of their own. That will solve so many issues for them, at least in equalizing this lane pressure. And it looks like they may have enough damage to take at least half of this Rax.
Let's see if they can get the important half. Blinking from Tail, going to hex up Yaki, followed up by the call on the Mystic Flare, but Void's hardly taking any damage. Even with the amplification, he's going to turn in with BKB Chronosphere. So on to Dubu, but 225 is outside of this and he can't fight. The right-click damage from the Sniper is too much, and now that the Chronosphere is down, they're going to blink and pursue onto Yaki. Yaki looks to buy himself enough space. They do have an assassination. I don't think that's going to be lethal. It's going to be close. He ends up surviving with 80 HP. The Void is able to make it out of there alive, and nobody actually dies.
Yaki getting out of there just by the skin of his teeth, but I don't really know why he got a refresher orb. Has he actually used it yet? Like, that was obviously not a great time to use it because, great, you could catch like 3 people with 2 Chronospheres, less than ideal, but that's a large item that's so far just been sitting, rotting in his inventory. And Ints, they don't lose anything there but a tier 3. That's pretty much inconsequential in this game. Now they're going to go straight for Roshan. 225 straight into the Roche Pit, has help from his allies. Do Mega know about this? Can they do anything about it? They have a Thunder God's Wrath available to them, but it'll cost them their Refresher Orb. They have a great Roche Pit fight, but it might just be too late.
Yeah, and if they wanted a Chrono, it would also cost them a Refresher or cooldown. This is going to be a double life and a cheese for Ints. Let's see who's going to pick it up. Aegis to the Sniper and cheese for the Dazzle. They're in a really happy position this game. Ints are now primed to get Mega Creeps, even if they lose a couple of heroes in doing so. I'm not sure that Mega have enough to save these barracks. They are going to have a double Chrono and a double Thunder God's Wrath, however, so maybe, just maybe, the dream team fight is there.
All you need is a double Death Ward and then you're golden. If only it worked like that, right? That would be insane, but for right now, Mega, They have such a delicate defense right now. The Faceless Void has finished up that Mjolnir, but you could still see that he's kind of struggling to, first of all, clear out these super creeps, and if you are struggling for super creeps, then you're going to be struggling even more to kill off heroes. Bottom lane is pushing in very aggressively, and INTZ, they're just going to take the slow approach. They can wait for a couple more items. I don't know what those items are at this point, since they have so much gold, so many options, but they're just going to slow push the top lane. We see the arrow being drawn by the Zeus, and I think he's pretty much spot on. In any game, that would be the pretty easy play to make. Just go for the slow push and let the side lanes that are with super creeps do their work.
Yeah, although Mega can theoretically hold against this, it's hard. It's very hard. The tier 4 towers in mid, not looking too healthy on the right one, although left is still sitting on a decent amount of damage. The creeps might end up just taking those out if they're stuck in a long, drawn-out fight, which is possible since Dudu is so hard to bring down on this axe, and the majority of INTZ lineup is actually pretty tanky. The biggest exception is the sniper, and even he's sitting on 30 armor, which does help a truck ton.
Yeah, I would say it's more probable than just possible. Like, the sustain right now for INTZ is insane. They could even just send the sniper up to the front lines, have a little bit of a skirmish to try to keep him alive, and then end up falling back, just knowing that while you're using that Aegis, the Aegis is essentially buying time for your creeps to push. INTZ, they're going to go for a little bit of a Hail Mary play, smoke up from Yaki behind, they're going to reveal themselves onto the Skywrath Mage. Call is there, Yaki is stuck right now, has no swap out, will finally get himself out, but he's already down half HP. He has a Chronosphere, but can he actually use it? He's going to go straight for the sniper, that's the correct decision. Chronosphere onto him, but the rest of his team can't help out. Double Thunder God's Wrath can do quite a bit of work, but Faceless Void now, he's only going to get the kill on the Skywrath Mage. Now returning back to the sniper, he's going to whip the secondary Chronosphere, in fact only catches his ally Lovejoy in that Chrono. Dude is going to chase down Aquino off to the side. Bolo throwing lightning where he can, but Lena's going to buy back, as will the Witch Doctor. Then catch a Bolo on the retreat with the call. Bolo is going to die right now. Does he have buyback? He does not. Zeus is down for good, and INTZ, they're going to go for another push. They still have cheese, and they have the Doctor. Oh my god, now that's an item to pick up. I don't think it's going to be completely necessary, because Mega are going to struggle for this defense. They have no more Chronospheres. They're going to lose their range. They're going to lose their melee. Where is the sniper? He's in the back from miles away, firing off those shots. And Batrider needs to get on top of the sniper right now, but even if he does, it's a little bit too late. Blink forward, call. Not even there from Dudu. In fact, he's out of mana. That's kind of embarrassing, but Yaki's just not doing enough damage right now. He's going to take a Laguna to the dome, but it doesn't even matter. Sniper is attacking the Ancient with impunity, with a Divine Rapier, and there's no one on the Mega side that can actually do anything about it. Yaki's going to jump in, but 3-shot by the Sniper. He will get hit with the Magic Missile, but who cares? Void and Venge going to buy back, but Sniper's going to claim a double. That's going to be it. The Divine Rapier for the killing blow, and it's going to be the dire victory.
Yeah, I really kind of feel like that victory was secured with the blink away from the second chrono of the sniper. If that sniper doesn't die, it's pretty much all but over. And Mega, although they fought valiantly, INTZ are going to be the ones to secure their spot in Division 2 for Join Dota League season number 6. It's not over for Mega. They, however, have to play through the playoffs, which is not something that you want to be.
I'm pretty sure they're going to be seated like right in the beginning. They have no advantage coming up from Division, or coming down from Division 2 rather. So yeah, definitely not where you want to be. Might be the last of INTZ that we're going to see in quite a long time. But that is the end of it, guys. 1 hour game for a random best of 1 tiebreaker here on my own personal channel, because Twitch is broken and some channels just aren't working right now. So that's the reason for that. But regardless of that fact, guys, I hope you enjoyed the game. If you did, be sure to go over to HeflaTV1 and follow us where we usually are, or you can hit that follow button right here. I'll appreciate that. I'm Mikelorus. You can find me on Twitter at Mikelorus. You can find my co-caster GrandisV on Twitter at GrandisV, and we will be back for probably some Division, some 2-1 playoff stuff a little bit later on. That's going to happen later. GG, guys.